I know a lot of you out there are really excited for this Friday when Battlefield 6 is going to launch on October the 10th. It has been way too long since the beta, and I cannot wait to get hands-on with the full version of the game. But I'm sure a lot of you are kind of thinking the same thing I am. Will the servers be able to handle all the players hopping in at one time, since we're having a global launch and everyone will be able to get in the game at the exact same time? And that's always an issue with any new game that comes out. If it is popular and the player base is there, a lot of these games have server issues and server problems for the first couple days of launch. And we know the game's coming out on a Friday, so the game is going to be very populated Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and probably into the following weeks and months, considering how good it is. If it's a really good game, you're probably going to see a lot of players purchasing the game from now until the end of the year. So we could see a queue inside of the game for a really long time, and that's kind of to be expected, because in a recent interview, David Serling, the lead producer at DICE, was asked about these servers, and he said these servers will be ready, and they took a lot of their info for how they're going to prepare the servers from the interest in the beta. He said during the beta there was 521,000 concurrent players on Steam alone, so that's not taking into account PlayStation or Xbox players or even players on the EA launcher. So they're looking at what we saw in the beta and saying if we could handle that during the beta during peak hours, we should be able to handle it on launch day. My only small concern here would be more players maybe hopping in as soon as the game launches than we saw concurrently during the beta on at any given time. There's going to be a lot of people playing the game on Steam, on the EA launcher, on PlayStation, and on Xbox, so I expect us to see some pretty lengthy queues. Hopefully they will have the queue time kind of fixed, and it won't be a big issue to where you're in there for 30 minutes plus or something like that. I'm hoping everyone can get in the queue and be into the game in 15 minutes or less. That's kind of what I expect or hope to see on launch day. Now, the biggest issue here was people talking about how they were in queues for an extremely long time, especially on Steam during this large concurrent player count. So hopefully they have figured out a way to make that a little bit less of a time length, that it's not going to be something you're in, like I said, for a really, really long time. They also talked about how they have gathered over 92 million hours of open beta testing, plus you have all the testing that they have done within Battlefield Labs. So it sounds like they are really prepared for what is to come when the game does go live on the 10th of October. Now, of course, I know a lot of you probably are asking as well about reviews. You're probably looking for any info you can get now that we're so close to launch. The embargo for the reviews is not going to be lifted until some point today, so you should start seeing reviews for Battlefield 6 at some point today, here on the 9th. But it was kind of interesting that they did not lift that embargo until the day before the game launches. That's a really close time frame kind of to launch day, but it is what it is. I'm going to be interested to see what reviewers think, but mainly I'm going to be interested to get into the game myself and get hands-on with it and really experience the full kind of everything that Battlefield 6 has to offer. Hopefully we all won't be inside of a long, lengthy queue. I expect to see queues, like I said, for the first several days, the first several weeks, because there's going to be a lot of players wanting to play this game. But David Serling did say that they are ready, so hopefully that is the case. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this. Do you think we're going to have any big issues on launch day? Or do you think it's going to be pretty smooth like the beta was? Because if this game runs as smooth as the beta did, I think we'll be okay. They can always go in and fix things after the game launches. But if we have a really rocky start, that's not always really good for a game. But if we have a pretty smooth start, I think everyone in the community will be really happy. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.